All right, welcome. Today, we are taking a deep dive into one of the most iconic and, let's be honest, absolutely terrifying concepts in all of science fiction, the hive cities of the 41st millennium. We're talking about man-made mountains of steel and suffering, home to literally countless billions of souls. So yeah, steel yourselves. We're going in. But here's the thing. Before we jump 38,000 years into the future, we actually have to look back, way back. Now, this quote you're looking at, it's not from some obscure imperial text. It's Charles Dickens writing about the Industrial Revolution here on Earth. And that's the key. To really understand the grim, dark future of a hive city, you have to get that its roots are right here, in our own past, a world of grinding labor, choking pollution, and humanity being treated as just another cog in the machine. Now, to really wrap your head around the sheer scale we're dealing with, just look at this number, 2 trillion. That's not the population of a star system. It's not even a whole sector. That's a high-end guess for a single hive world. When you start dealing with numbers that big, you can kind of see why the Imperium of Man stopped seeing human life as precious and starts seeing it as a raw, expendable resource. So, what is a hive city exactly? Well, at its core, it's something called an arcology, which is a real-world idea for a city that's one giant, self-contained building. But in the 41st millennium, that dream has been corrupted. It's a vertical superstructure, a man-made mountain stretching miles into the sky and burrowing just as deep into the planet's crust. It is a home, it is a factory, and for almost everyone inside, it's a tomb. You know, to truly understand the hive, you can't just talk about it. You have to see it. So that's what we're going to do. We're going on a journey of descent. We'll start at the very top, breathing the clean air of the spires, and we will go all the way down to the toxic, lawless foundations at the very, very bottom. Think of this as our map for the trip. In a hive, there's one simple rule that governs everything. Your social status is your altitude. It's literal. At the top, in the spires, the elite live above the clouds. Then, as we go down, we hit the upper and lower hives. That's where the masses, the billions, live and work. And then, way down at the bottom, in the dark, you have the underhive, the outcasts. Okay, first stop, the absolute peak. We're talking about the gleaming, opulent spires that actually pierce through the planet's toxic cloud layer. This is a world completely cut off from the billions who are toiling and dying down below. This is the playground of the hive nobility. And life up here? It's a kind of paradise. You're breathing clean air, eating real food that's been imported from off-world, living in palaces. You might even take a vacation to a lush paradise world. But don't be fooled, it is a gilded cage. It's a world of brutal, cutthroat politics. See, in the spires, your rival won't stab you in an alley for a piece of bread. Oh no, they'll practice social assassination, using their wit and influence to absolutely destroy your reputation, your family, your very soul. All right, now we descend. We're going below the clouds, past the armored gates, and into the teeming, grinding, suffocating bulk of the hive city. This is the core. This is the engine room of the Imperium. So if we look at our map again, we're now in the middle hive. It's split into 2 parts. The slightly better off upper hive for bureaucrats and managers, and the polluted, squalid lower hive for the billions and billions of laborers. This is where almost everyone lives. And for all of them, life is about one thing, and one thing only: unending, thankless work. For these billions of people, the sun, the sky, they're just myths, stories. The air they breathe is recycled from the levels above them, and it gets more foul and toxic with every floor it filters down. Their food is a synthetic paste, famously including something called corpse starch, which is, yeah, it's exactly what it sounds like. Their entire life is just a grueling cycle of shifts in dangerous factories, a constant fight against accidents, crime, and just crushing despair. And now, we take our final plunge. We're going beneath the official foundations of the city itself, down into the utter darkness of the underhive. This place has been completely forgotten by imperial law. It's a sprawling slum built in the collapsed ruins and toxic waste sumps of the hive's own ancient history.
I mean, just look at the difference. The chasm between the top and the bottom is staggering. In the spires, you rule through politics and intrigue. In the underhive, you rule with a rusty pipe. In the spires, your enemy schemes to ruin your name. In the underhive, they'll just kill you for your boots. It's the difference between a life of luxury and a life of pure, brutal survival. So you have to wonder, how did it get this bad? This whole system, from the palaces in the clouds to the toxic sludge at the bottom, it's a complete perversion of what was once a utopian dream. So how did humanity create such a monster? Well, to answer that, we have to look at the hive's history. Believe it or not, hive cities were not always like this. Way back in humanity's golden age, the age of technology, they were these incredible utopian arcologies, built to let humanity live in perfect harmony with a planet's ecosystem. But then, the age of strife hit. Humanity's empire collapsed, technology was lost, and these shining beacons of progress decayed into isolated, fortified cities, just desperately fighting to survive. By the time the Imperium finally showed up in the 41st millennium, these cities were repurposed for one brutal function: to be factories for endless war.
And that right there brings us to the real purpose of a hive. It's all about something called the imperial tithe. See, every single world in the Imperium has to pay a tax. It's a massive levy of goods, weapons, and resources. But the most important part of that tithe, the one thing hive worlds are uniquely designed to provide in staggering quantities, is people. Billions of them, destined for the armies of the Imperial Guard.
So this leads us to the final, and frankly, the most horrifying truth about what a hive city is for. It's not about giving people a home. It's not even really about creating wealth. It is all about producing the one single resource the Imperium needs more than anything else.
A hive produces an unimaginable amount of stuff. Munitions for the armies, fuel for the fleets, weapons, chemicals. It even produces servitors, these lobotomized cyborg slaves made from criminals or vat-grown flesh. But its main product, the one that matters most, the one it produces in numbers that defy comprehension, is simply human beings. Bodies for the meat grinder of galactic war.
And that really says it all, doesn't it? In the grim darkness of the far future, human life isn't cherished. It's not sacred. It's a currency, a raw material to be manufactured, stockpiled, and spent, just to hold back the darkness for one more day.
So we're left with this question at the end of it all. What is a hive city? Is it this incredible monument to humanity's stubborn, unbelievable will to survive, no matter the cost? Or is it just a soul-crushing machine of despair, a symbol of everything that humanity has lost along the way? The answer, I think, just like the hive itself, is complicated, layered, and probably buried somewhere deep in the darkness.